Bryce Harper and the rest of the offense are taking full advantage of a small ballpark this weekend. Gio looks to move the win streak to 8 by completing the sweep in Philadelphia.
Here in Philadelphia, the Nats are looking for a sweep. Years ago, that would have seemed impossible, but not anymore. It's the Philly Fanatics' birthday. Kids are all getting their Fanatics caps. All of his mascot buddies on the field with him. It's an emotional day for him. Quite a reunion between the Phillies and the Eagles, by the way, as Swoop makes an appearance. Bob and FP, no nicknames up here, just good baseball for the Nats. Pitching, defense, timely hitting, you name it. This ball club's doing it, but really, when you come down to it, the pitching what leads the way.
Yeah, the pitching's been amazing. The bench, I mean, everybody contributed, all 25 guys, but as we always talk about, it starts with the guy 60 feet 6 inches away. And you look at what the starting rotation has done the last 5 games. These numbers are ridiculous. 5-0, an 0.76 ERA. No hits to get. Opponents hitting 154. No taters allowed. 1. But the way they're pitching just been amazing. And the defense behind them, it's just kind of all coming together. And when you look at Gio Gonzalez in his last start last Tuesday, the word focus, the word energy comes to mind. The new delivery, the smoothed out delivery, picking up the target early. It's a good shot of it right there. 6 scoreless innings from Gio Gonzalez. He's looking to keep the line moving from a starting rotation standpoint here today.
Yeah, and I think Mike Maddox, he said in spring training, he wants his guys to focus on every pitch. That's what Gio did. His work rate was outstanding, looking for big things down the road from him. But the pitching staff is a little incomplete without a great bullpen, and those guys have really been good.
Yeah, and I think they've been good, but the way that Dusty Baker and Mike Maddox has handled the bullpen, the way they've used him, having a lefty ready for lefties, guys starting to know their roles being defined, and you're getting the best out of all of them right now.
Yeah, and by the way, it helps when your closing guys are 6 for 6. Rivero has 1. Papelbon has 5. So the Nats bullpen, 2.10, best in the National League, second in all of baseball. Just about as good as you could hope for in the first 2 weeks of the season.
plate, and here they come out of their dugout. So we'll probably be bringing you the national anthem for the first time this year, and one of the few times ever. On a beautiful Sunday in Philadelphia, there's a choir on the third base line, and we're getting ready for the Stars and Stripes. Nats come in 9-1. They've won 7 in a row. The Phillies are 5-7. They're 3-3 at home. The Nationals are 4-0 on the road at Atlanta and at Philadelphia. And a commanding right now 5-game lead over the Phils and the Mets in the East. Another game over the Marlins, even more than that over the Braves, who, by the way, have 4 in the first at Miami today. So it's time to get ready for the Star-Spangled Banner here. Dan Baker, the PA guy, to introduce it here in Philly.
Out of respect for our country, we ask that you please remove your hats. Veterans, please salute. You're invited to join the Cherville Elementary Choir under the direction of esteemed Aramark vendor Michael Hack as they sing our national anthem.
Good energy, good pacing, a lot like the time Gio pitched last. And we're getting ready for a nice day of baseball here. It's gorgeous. The Phillies are going to sign for their young fans. Clear skies, 68 degrees at game time. Now, Ben Revere, we think that's him.
Is not getting through security at the airport tonight.
Born in Atlanta, lives in Richmond, Kentucky. Went to high school in Lexington, but evidently it's a little chilly for a guy from Georgia and Kentucky. So here's the lineup. Daniel Murphy just doing everything right now. In this series, 2 hits, a walk, and an RBI. First in the league at .438. First in all of baseball. Third in on-base percentage. Couple of triples. He's 9th in hits. Getting it done for the Nats. And, of course, Bryce Harper is in there, but Heisey's in there today. Clint Robinson is in. Stephen Drew, Jose Lobaton. Dusty Baker's ball club FP has already won the series, and they'll face Charlie Morton.
Yeah, fastball up a tick this year for Charlie. The average 92 last year, averaging 94. Last start he was at 96. So bowling ball turbo type sinker, tough to elevate. A cutter, curveball, and change to go with it. Last start against the Pods on the 12th. Got the 3-0 win, 6 2/3 scoreless with 7 strikeouts for Morton.
Third rounder drafted originally by the Braves, and here's the defense behind him.
Goodell, Herrera, Borges the outfield, Galvis, Franco left side, Hernandez rough right side, and Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. If you're an infielder today for the Phillies, you're going to see a lot of action. Charlie Morton throws a lot of ground balls, 58.2% ground ball rate, the second highest in baseball since 2011.
Getting the bench guys involved. Dusty got Chris Heisey, a 9th inning AB last night, and look what he did with it.
Well, we had a feeling it would get him in the order today in the lineup, especially after winning the first 2 games of the set. Tater the other way. Solid home run trot, by the way. And he's leading this one off. Great day to hit. Ball was flying in BP today, and here we go. Nats going for the sweep.
Yeah, that was Chris Heisey's 70th career home run, his 12th pinch hit home run. And here we go. What's 5 minutes when it's the Fanatic's birthday, right? Well, officially 1:39 with the first pitch of the day.
He threw one heck of a party before this game. I mean, there was
more mascots than you could imagine.
They were everywhere. looked like one of my bachelor parties.
One of them?
Yep.
Okay. Did he go? He did, says Mark Ripperger. We'll get you set on the umpires here in a moment. In fact, right now, 18th year for Andy Fletcher. Ripperger at first. The crew chief, Joe West, there he is, out at second. Kerwin Danley at third. Heisey has an at 2 for 7. Breaking ball, he made an offer. Oh, he's going to get rung up on that one, too. The youngest umpire on the crew, quick on the trigger from first base, 1 out.
So from up here, it didn't look like he went. We'll look at it together on the replay. And
didn't.
it still doesn't look like he went. Wow.
Rendon and Harper, the next two. Anthony Rendon, 1 for 6 career with a walk against Charlie Morton, who is 46 and 71 as a big league pitcher.
You just hear that ball hitting Ruiz's glove. 97 from Morton. Goes that heavy two-seam fastball. And I don't remember Charlie Morton throwing 97.
No.
And that's,
look at the sink on that. Wow.
that might be his changeup, Carb. His changeup is up a tick this year too, from 84 to 86. This one 88, and I'm thinking that was after a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. His changeup.
Breaking ball, Rendon fouls it over the Philly dugout. 32-year-old Charlie Morton started his career with the Braves in 08. To the Pirates the following year. He was there through last season when he went 9-9 for the Bucks in 23 starts. They got him in a trade, did the Phillies, from Pittsburgh. And out to the shortstop, Freddie Galvis. Ground ball early, good sign for Morton and the Phils. And now with Bryce Harper coming up, early game notes for you. Nats, during their 7-game streak, better than a 3-1 scoring margin. Last time Gio started here, middle of September last year, a career high dozen on the strikeouts. And can Bryce Harper homer in 4 straight games for the first time ever? 5 out of 7 in this series, with 2 home runs and 7 batted in. They're not going to play much of a shift on him.
See if Morton goes after him. He keeps the ball in the ballpark with that turbo sinker of his.
Harper rips one to right center. Kept him in the yard. We'll see if Bryce digs for 2. There he goes. Herrera gets it in. Good throw. Safe at second. And Freddie Galvis, as soon as the call was made, gestured to his dugout. We got players prompting challenges now, of course. What a well-hit ball.
Yeah, this ball was roasted. You see Bryce, who's a great low ball hitter, going down and getting that first pitch sinker from Charlie Morton. And when you're locked in, folks, you're locked in. The Phillies keep trying Bryce Harper, but a nice throw right here by Odubel Herrera, and we'll see all together at second base. I thought it was close, Carp. Bryce hustling right out of the box, going hard into second. Joe West right on top of it. What do you got? This should show it, right?
Thought he got in there.
Did his foot come off the base, though, in the middle of the slide, because Freddie Galvis kept the tag on him. Says his foot come off right there while he's keeping the tag on him. That's what I think Freddie Galvis was arguing about. So he's safe, right? Now watch. Does he come off the bag right there? And he might be out.
They're showing every close-up they can show.
Well, there goes the no-hitter regardless if he's safe or out. Yeah. It's either a single and 3 outs or a double and 2 outs.
I don't know, you know, the crowd's reacting, but they're not sure. So we're seeing a lot of really tight replays here. If that's a double, it'll make Bryce second in the league in extra base hits, 1 behind Trevor Story of Colorado.
So if you woke up on a Sunday morning, you said, I'm going to turn on some baseball and see a challenge, you're happy right now. I don't know. There was a time when nothing was on the bag, and maybe Galvis's tag was on him, but we'll see.
Yeah, is it indisputable for them to overturn? So Joe West, the crew chief, made the call.
So initially his foot got in there, but I don't know if in the process he popped off the bag.
Joe's over there with Kerwin Danley, the third base umpire. Pete McCannon on the challenge.
What we got, Joe West? Nothing.
Joe West, the #1 cheerleader on the field for pace of play. Bryce is out. Took a while. So base hit, 9-6. And that's it for the Nats in the top of the first. That tag 8-6. Herrera gets the outfield assist. As far as we know, single and then out. He didn't get the second, then come off the bag, but either way, it looks like a single. Darren Ruff, great numbers against Gio Gonzalez. 348 career, 8 hits, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, not to mention 8 walks. So every time Gio pitches against the Phillies, you know Darren Ruff is going to be in there, and Galvis has good numbers against Gio as well.
Check out Gio's first start. He threw the curveball 7% of the time, the fastball 70% of the time. Opened the season strong against the Braves on the 12th. 6 scoreless frames, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 95 pitches.
Galvis in the series 3 for 7 with a walk. He's 2 for 7 this season from the right side of the plate. And Gio misses low. Missing on the inside edge.
Now, we talked about it his first start, if you missed it, the refined delivery of Gio Gonzalez. Just kind of smoothed it out, no pause at the top, picking up the target a lot sooner. It looks good.
Threw him a strike on 3-2. This is Stephen Drew, and he gets it right on target over to Clint Robinson.
Set the defense for Dusty Baker's squad here on a Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia behind Gio Gonzalez. Worth, Heisey, Harper the outfield. Drew Rendon left side. Murphy Robinson right side. Jose Lobaton behind the plate. Stephen Drew coming off a nice first start as a Nat. Homered, played third base, did a nice job today at shortstop.
And there's second baseman Cesar Hernandez, the #2 hitter. It's a good looking bunt. Really good.
They can't do anything better than that. I think the key for all good base hit bunters is where the ball hits the bat. If you hit it on the end of the bat, it deadens the baseball. So you know, obviously as a hitter, you want on the sweet spot. When you're bunting, watch where this ball hits Cesar Hernandez's bat. It's right off the end. So now it just deadens it automatically. That's just textbook. If you want to teach kids how to base hit bunt, save that video.
And such a long play for a left-handed pitcher to make. Here's Odubel Herrera, who's 2 for 5 with 3 walks in the series so far. Steps in at 263.
Brett Butler used to talk about that, a great base hit bunter, all the time. He didn't care where the third baseman was playing. If he could slide his hand as far up on the barrel as he could and just deaden the baseball, he would do that a lot, what you just saw, and it didn't matter where the third baseman was playing.
Long look and pause.
A good pitch right here by Gio, maybe a hair outside. Good frame by Lobaton, but Andy Fletcher not buying it. I'm digging the Fanatic hat giveaways today, by the way. The visors. See them in the background.
Good day for them.
I love them.
1-0 with 1 out. And Gio home quickly after another long look.
That pause thing is contagious.
Joe, it works.
It works. That's why, right? Here's the hat. Nice. I like it.
Sharing cotton candy.
The Philly Fanatic's birthday today, and the giveaway is a visor with green hair. I love it.
Target away. Long look again. Runner frozen at the knees. Strike 2.
But look at Herrera's body language. We talk about how it disrupts the base runner's timing. Odubel Herrera should have stepped out right there. Maybe he asked for time at the end, didn't get it. So now the pause, if you talk to hitters, messes them up too.
Yeah, it's a request for time. Umpires don't have to give it.
I mean, I really like the efficiency of it. Only thing is, we're going to get into Miami around midnight.
1-2. What's your point? It's Miami.
It's just starting. No, you know, this is a surprise. I haven't seen Gio implement the pause in his delivery out of the stretch. I like it.
You know, the Phillies haven't either.
A hold.
And he throws the curveball that misses away 2-2. Yeah, you can make an argument that the hold is a whole lot more effective than a throw over.
I would argue, Carp, that with a left-handed pitcher, if you got a nasty move, that's way more effective.
How's Gio's move rated compared to most?
It's average. It's just an average left-handed move. It's not going to trick anybody.
Ground ball, bunt, base hit. Home he comes, and Herrera pop up. Anthony Rendon into foul ground on a very sunny day to look up for those 2 outs. What a great hold and a great matchup there for Gio Gonzalez.
I think the best left-handed moves are the ones where they look like they're coming to first every time and then go home, because as a base stealer, you're kind of jabbing toward first base all the time thinking he's coming over. But Gio Gonzalez's move is just kind of your standard left-hander's move. The pause is very effective for him so far.
Maikel Franco cleaning things up for the Phillies. 1 for 8 in the series.
And we're told that Bryce was called out for failure to maintain contact with the bag.
Which is really hard to do when you slide feet first when you think about it, if you're not jamming a knee or something. You know, you like the feet first slide, and I understand your reasons, but on a head first slide, you can always grab that base with your hand as you're going by. I should do it with feet first, too.
Yeah, Bryce really hit that bag hard. Counts even, 1-1. Gio running the fastball to the outer edge against Franco, who's 0 for 5 career against him. The Gio nemesis, Darren Ruff, is on deck. Breaking ball, and he was way out ahead, slamming it off the rail. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Third game of a 7-game trip, 4 coming up in Miami. The Nats will get to see Jose Fernandez tomorrow night. Marlins get to see Tanner Roark again. Who leads by 5 after 10? It's a hard thing to happen.
Nats.
Only one other team in baseball with 2 losses. That's the Cubs. Swing and a miss in the inning over. So Gio holding, not letting runners go anywhere, then getting hitters out. Murphy leads the major leagues in hitting. He's going to lead off in a moment. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you. By T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by Eastern Lexus. Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. A lot of great museums along the Ben Franklin Parkway. Uptown, we're in South Philly at Citizens Bank Park. And Daniel Murphy leads off top of the second with a major league leading batting average of .438. It's 21 points higher than Dexter Fowler.
You're looking for something above your belt from Charlie Morton. That'll probably sink right to about your knees, and that's the one you want to hit. So with sinker ball guys, you zone up, meaning you look for something up in the zone. Maybe that even starts out of the zone up because you know it's going to come down into the zone. If it starts mid-thigh high, it's going to be a ball.
Let's go inside some numbers with Cheap. Winning percentage, first in all of baseball.
Almost 5 runs a game with the weekend barrage here. ERA, the only team in baseball under 2 as a staff, and first in the league in defense. Murphy, it's a great take.
Tell you what, Morton's stuff is moving all over the place. Cutter into lefties. That was a changeup, I think, away at 86.
And Murphy thought it was a strike. It didn't end up that way. Late movement, down and in, 3-2. Nissan will track a nasty pitch.
This is the cutter for Morton. Watch it start as a strike and then cut off, and Ruiz backhanding it.
He's got some kind of live arm today.
He does early. Let's see if he can sustain it.
3-2. Murphy way out ahead.
The highest ERA versus a National since 2005. Brad Hand is 7.74 and Charlie Morton number 2 with a 7.18. 25 runs the Nats have gotten off him in 31 1/3 innings. So they've had their success against Morton, but he just looks like a different guy here early from what we've seen in the past.
2-4 career overall with a 7.18 in 7 starts. Murphy sees that breaking ball coming back to the outside corner, and he pulled the trigger late to stay alive. Slugging, on base percentage, batting average. Murphy tight for first with a couple of triples, 9th in hits.
How's Trevor Story 4th? He's got like 100 home runs already.
Only 2 more than Bryce now. This ball's got a chance in left. Running in to get it, Tyler Goodell, the rookie, getting a start today. And he came in well to grab it.
You're thinking this one might have a chance. Nice play by Goodell, ready for the baseball. Hung up there a little bit too long for Daniel Murphy. A sliding catch.
Jason Worth has more career hits off of Charlie Morton than anybody else in the lineup today. Wilson Ramos has 5 career hits. Worth has 4. And he's getting ahead. Got a fastball. He's jammed. And this ball uncatchable for Darren Ruff.
So you're seeing the last couple of hits, right? 23.2% of hitters' contact versus Morton since 2011 has been soft. It's the highest percentage of any major league starter with at least 600 innings. So you're not going to see too many hard hit balls here today. And I think it's because of the heavy fastball he throws, the movement on all of his pitches. He's a tough guy to square up.
Worth, well hit, right center. Borges, short of the track. They were playing Jason way off the line, which they'll do in this ballpark on both sides. 2 outs.
With a 2016 flex plan, the choice is yours. Pick 4 games starting at just $80. Plus, Bob will throw in a free Nationals grill item. Visit nationals.com/flex to buy your flex plan today. Nats fans?
Yeah, we might hand it to you, not throw it at you.
See red people? I like it.
Traveling well, our fans these days. There's Clint Robinson. 1 career at bat against Charlie Morton and produced a base hit. So you look at all this that this 32-year-old right-hander is featuring and wonder, how is he 46 and 71 in his career?
You know, just to give you an idea how Dusty Baker uses his bench, I was talking to Clint before the game today, and he said he knew he was starting today during the homestand. Dusty Baker told him. It's such a luxury for a bench guy to know that. Why? Because you can get your work in accordingly. As a bench guy, you know, when you walk in the clubhouse, it's always that nerve-wracking time. You look at a lineup card, am I in there or not? But with Dusty Baker, he lets everybody know when they're playing. Maybe a week ahead of time, he's got it scheduled out.
Mercedes-Benz will track it on a 2-2 pitch. Actually, a 1-2 pitch. It's now 2-2. Could have gone either way.
It's high. Anytime you see a catcher catch a pitch over his mask, it doesn't matter what that box says. That ball's high.
A ballpark made for Clint Robinson if he can pull. I tell you, that thing cutting down and into the left-handers. He got a strike on Murphy. He gets a strikeout on Robinson. And Charlie Morton, crowded day here, looking good.
Adjustments this year when it comes to his movements on the mound. Gio Gonzalez has also made some adjustments from a mental standpoint. He started working with a mental coach back in spring training, whose title is actually Director of Mental Conditioning. That's Mark Campbell. He taught Gio some breathing techniques on the mound intended to improve his concentration and help him refocus. Gio's been working on that over the last handful of weeks, implemented it in his debut the other day, and said it's really helped him kind of lock things in on the mound. Maybe when it gets into a tough spot, kind of help him refocus, get in the right frame of mind. He really credits Mark Campbell's work a lot for how he's pitched early on.
He needs to breathe well against Darren Ruff, who has really hurt him in his career to the tune of 348. That was Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. 1-1 the count. Ruff in the series 0 for 5.
No, that's no joke. The breathing thing kind of sets you right, and it's just kind of slowly in through your nose and then slowly out through your mouth. If you take big deep breath through your mouth and out, it just kind of makes you more nervous. There's just kind of a way to slow everything down and get you right. You'll see a lot of guys do it before they get in the batter's box, but you know, the whole relaxation, focus, mental side of the game of baseball always has fascinated me. I was a big fan of it. I still am.
2-2. Ruff high in the air, short left center. Drew is waiting for an outfielder to take charge, and Jason Worth did. 1 out.
Tonight on WUSA 9, you don't want to miss 60 Minutes. It's an hour long, plus all new episodes of Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and Elementary. It all starts at 7, followed by USA 9 News at 11.
Yeah, good to have them with us. They were with us on opening day. Carlos Ruiz 0 for 4 in the series. 6 career hits against Gio.
A lot of guys are big into visualization. You kind of lay on your bed in your hotel room with your headphones on, see yourself succeeding in the game. Guys will even go to where they're talking to reporters after the game, maybe even see the headlines the next day in the newspaper. just, you know, the body doesn't go anywhere the mind hasn't gone first. And I think it's such a powerful tool when you know how to use it the right way. Maybe you set some game goals for a certain day, and it's not result-oriented goals. It's just, you know, throw good low strikes, have a good tempo, you know, stuff that you can control, because there's so much that you can't in this game.
3-0, Ruiz swinging, and the Phillies take the lead on his second of the year. Gio doesn't give up many homers. That's the first of the year, and it came on a 3-0 count.
Well, 3-0 green light. Got a fastball. Looked like it was down and away. Just went out and hooked it. And he only gave up 8 home runs all of last year, but Carlos Ruiz, 3-0 green light, makes the Nats pay. 1-0 Phils.
And if I remember correctly, 2 of those were in Oakland on 3-0 counts. Derek Norris got him. And a foul tip on an attempted bunt by Peter Borges. For the Phillies, their 12th homer of the year. The Nats have also hit 12. That's only the 6th given up by Washington pitching. Borges 5 for 33 to start the season.
Good changeup. Turned it over, late movement.
Just a little low. Borges put on waivers by St. Louis right before spring training. Phillies picked him up, signed him to a 1-year free agent deal. Swing and a miss. Gio slipping 91 by him. Second swinging strikeout.
Well, I like that he gave up a 3-0 homer right back in the strike zone. A couple of good changeups, a fastball to end it, everything down the zone, not phased at all by the homer. He's seen how the offense has been swinging it. He's not panicking after 1 run.
Yeah. Now the rookie left fielder Tyler Goodell. 0 for 1 in the series. That was as an early pinch hitter. 3rd inning Friday night after the Nats had hit Jeremy Hellickson with 7 runs in 3 times at bat. Ball 2. Mets have a 6-0 lead in the 4th inning at Cleveland. Same story for Atlanta. Same inning for them at Miami. 2-1 pitch. This one high in the air out to center. Chris Heisey. Gio battles back for the 1-out homer. In fact, he'll get to bat. Drew and Lobaton before him.
That looked like a rookie hazing road trip at the end of the season.
It's a Fanatic's birthday today. He was first sighted April 25th, 1978.
Wow.
He was introduced for the first time as Captain Noah and his Magical Ark, and then became the Philadelphia Fanatic, the Philly Fanatic, and we love him.
Supposedly from the Galapagos Islands, according to Phillies PR. Top of the third, Stephen Drew.
He's only 38. He's in his prime.
Drew 1 for 1 in this series, and some success against Charlie Morton. 3 for 9 career with an RBI. They've got the shift on. Interesting shift too, because the third baseman Michael Franco is on the grass at third, and then it's about 110 feet to the second baseman, actually the shortstop Galvis.
I mean, it's got to be tempting, right? You really can't steer the baseball, but if you get one of those sinkers down the way, hit a grounder to short.
Yeah, and if it's slow enough, you might get a double. Great changeup.
I think he was trying right there. He looked at where Stephen Drew was looking after the swing. He was looking at it short.
Charlie Morton very efficient. 25 pitches, 18 strikes. First 2 innings, Bryce Harper the only hit. Bryce was gunned out by Odubel Herrera, trying to stretch it to a double on a Phillies challenge that ended the first inning. Tried to paint. Easy looking 95 right there.
He tried to front hip the sinker. Did it come back?
Drew up the middle. That's the shortstop over there. So Freddie Galvis for the first out. Inside some more numbers with Jeep. So that's that part of that list that FP was telling you about. Guys who've had very little career success against the Nats.
How about Lincecum on that list at a 6.45? Remember, he had a couple of rough July starts at Nats Park. It was about 140 degrees.
Yeah. Oliver said, if I can't get him out, I'll join him. Here's Lobaton. Jose Lobaton's at bats this year, 3 of them have all come left-handed. He has a base hit. He's 1 for 1 career against Morton. Straight up it goes into center. Out is Galvis. Herrera behind him. Kind of a late call, but the ball was up there so long they had plenty of time to peel off.
Twins are in town April 22nd to the 24th. Celebrate the first 3-game weekend series of the year with Pups in the Park on the 23rd and Kids Opening Day on the 24th. Visit Nationals.com for tickets.
Gio Gonzalez is 1 for 1 with an RBI career against Charlie Morton. 1 for 1 this year with a sacrifice. Swung the bat pretty well the other night. Max Scherzer contributing big time to his cause with a 2-run double last evening. Ooh. Ball almost hit Gio.
I mean, this isn't a guy throwing 88 with this kind of movement. This is 96. Yeah, I don't know what happened. At least he's smiling.
And then he takes the curveball in there. And Charlie Morton has thrown better against the Nats in a half hour than we've ever seen him before.
Smiles are brought to you by Hair Cuttery, home of the Smile Back Guarantee. No small print, just big smiles. Best record in baseball, you should be smiling. Philly fans at the ballpark on a Sunday afternoon for the Fanatic's birthday, yeah, I'd smile too. And now I'll throw it to my partner, Captain Bob, and his magical arc.
Come two, come all. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever and you, no boat should have less than 2 left-handers. And here's Sammy Solis. He was up with the Nats for 18 games last year. His minor league career. So in that 18 ball games last year, 3.38, 21 innings, 17 strikeouts, 4 walks. Sammy Solis, a second rounder from 6 years ago. Gio, first 2 innings, 33 pitches, 19 strikes. Charlie Morton can swing the bat a bit. He's 1 for 4. And he has 6 career RBIs. He's also thrown 37 pitches, 25 strikes in 3 innings. Foul tip, 0-2.
We'll see how he fares second time around. Nat's got a good look at him first time. It looked like the swing started getting better. Stephen Drew had a good hack. Jose Lobaton had a good hack.
Got him on the curveball. That was a good job by Jose Lobaton of going human backstop there. That thing was spinning wickedly. Strikeout number 3. So 3 Ks in the books already on Toyota Ks for Kids. That ledger today. Washington area Toyota dealers helping children and their families. $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every Nats pitcher's strikeout. Only ball on the ground was the first batter of the game, Freddie Galvis, who steps in. Hit it to Stephen Drew at short. Galvis against Gio, 8 for 27 career. Homer, 2 RBIs. Rendon even with the bag at the cut of the grass over there on third.
Gio gaining so much confidence in that changeup. You remember 2 years ago, it was a pitch that he barely threw. Last year, the percentage increased. This year, first start, he threw it 20% of the time, and he's been throwing it a lot here today. I would say of that 37% off speed, most of it's been changeups. Handful of curveballs.
Enhances that heater too. We can throw the off speed for strikes. Two-one pitch, and he just missed away.
It's the evolution of a pitcher, Carp, as they progress throughout their career. Gio Gonzalez used to be 94, 95, blow the fastball by it, throw that wiffle ball curveball. But you see this year, it's just 89, 90 in the zone, changeup.
Just outside the lane on the Nissan pitch track. And there's a bouncer that Rendon will cut off. 2 quick outs, bottom of the third. Yeah, this is a whole new Gio Gonzalez we're looking at here. We saw it the other night. I mean, he was so efficient. You talked about focus, and in the words of Mike Maddox, he didn't take any pitches off.
No.
And Gio is so emotional out there.
Well, that's where that breathing and the mental coach thing comes in. When you have keys as a player to get you back to where you need to be. And sometimes you look at a foul pole or something that when you look at it, it gets you back to reset. When things start going south and the game starts moving fast, you pick out something in a ballpark that's your key to get you back focused. For me, it would be the Fanatic.
I could see you and him being really good friends.
You know, if I made an error, I'd look over and find the Fanatic. And no, honestly, mine was the button on my shirt. It was my autopilot button. On my jersey, whenever things started going a little bit too fast, I just pressed that button on my jersey, and it was my cue. It's just to put it on autopilot, quit thinking too much, slow the game down. So players that are into the sports psychology and the mental side of the game, all have their different things they look at, and why not look at the fanatic?
0-2, and that bounces out in front.
The Mental Game of Baseball by Carl Keel and Harvey Dorfman was my Bible as a player.
Did he go? Home plate umpire Andy Fletcher ringing up Cesar Hernandez. Well, Gio's got it going on now. 4 strikeouts. The difference in the game, the Carlos Ruiz home run. Nationals baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid all-wheel drive unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com today. Good-looking vehicle, great ballpark, beautiful day in Philadelphia, and our freight rail works due up looking pretty good too. Top of the order, Heisey, Rendon, Harper. Top of the 4th inning. Chris deep last night. Rendon produces against the Phillies, and Mr. Harper's stats, as numerous as they are, speak for themselves. Heisey on a bad call from first base, rung up on a check swing, first time up. I'm pretty sure he held that time. 1-1. First 3 innings, Charlie Morton, 37 pitches. He only missed with 12. And he runs that one back. 1-2. When the Nats came to town Friday, Philly staff ERA was 3.23. Right now it's 4.05. They've hit him hard, but this guy's tough. Heisey up the middle, checks in with his 3rd Nationals hit and 2nd of this series.
A nice piece of hitting right there. Short, compact swing from Chris Heisey right back up the middle. Quick infield here at the bank. Leadoff man aboard here. 2nd time around. See if they figured something out against Charlie Morton.
Anthony Rendon. Ground ball to short first time. 2 for 9 in the series, but a walk and 3 runs scored. He's been a table setter for some rallies. Well, you don't want to swing at that thing.
No, it's going to be a rough day if that's a strike. Not a whole lot you can do with that pitch except for beat it right in the ground.
Ton of room right side. Cesar Hernandez plays pretty far up the middle. Phillies looking for a double play grounder. Harper next. This is a really big hitter in this game for Martin. And that's a patented 6-4-3 double play ball. Bryce Harper will bat with the bases empty.
Well, a couple taters for Bryce Harper in this series. You know, number 100, a grand slam that broke the scoreboard at Nats Park. This is 101. And almost hit that blue AT&T thing out there. And this one, Bryce Harper just pured. Last night, number 102. And it was a far tater.
Inside the numbers, and yeah, everything's right with Bryce right now. Almost had his 9th extra base hit, but he was tossed out at second by Herrera on a ball he really gashed into the right center gap. So Bryce in this series is 6 for 8. Shift on. And Bryce, I don't know, maybe thinking about third base side. That's a double on a ground ball over there.
You're absolutely right. You know, he was talking about going the other way for that game winner when Dan interviewed him after the game the other night. He saw the shift on. He was doing that. He's a hit collector, man. He's got the whole left side of the infield right now. He's trying to hit a 15 hopper over there. Smart.
And you might say, well, why doesn't he just bunt? Well, with 2 outs, you want the extra base hit. And any ground ball is 2 bags.
He's trying to hit that to third. Carp, you were all over that with that shift. He can do it. I mean, he's Bryce Harper.
Target away. All right, now time to go to war.
Pretty good average this series.
This might tell you something. Phillies haven't walked him once. The left-handers are really having a hard time with that pitch. Murphy, Robinson, and Harper all victimized by Charlie Morton.
Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Anthony Rendon, one of several visits with smiles for Gio in this one so far. Our next 5 ball games, 4 of them at Miami. Day game on Thursday. WUSA 9 back with us when the Minnesota Twins, who've won 2 in a row, return to Nats Park after just being there 2 weeks ago for some exhibition baseball. They're trailing today at home to the Angels. We really wanted them to win a couple games before they got to Washington, because the odds were they were going to do it sometime, and they're going for a sweep today, as is Atlanta.
Tanner Roark charting for tomorrow.
Starts and charts. Breaking ball, 1 strike. Gio, first 3 innings, 46 pitches, 28 strikes.
He's not cheating like Gio was last night. He's on it. If you missed it, Gio was charting last night. He was asking for help on every pitch.
Yeah. He was going multiple choice. Right to Daniel Murphy. Herrera 0 for 2, 2 for 7 in the series. Maikel Franco is next.
4-3 ground ball.
Yeah, Gio, 2 of his last 3 outs now on the ground. Franco, a strikeout victim, ending the first. Ryan Howard not in the lineup. The big left-handed presence getting a day off, and another reason might be 0 for 11 with 6 strikeouts career against Gio Gonzalez. Mets are coming in here when the Nats go to Miami. Franco all confused on that swing.
But this is a tough guy to walk. You know, the more you watch him play, very dangerous because he's swinging the bat, but you'd be hard pressed to really throw this guy a strike.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to.
Well, and you've well chronicled his first pitch fastball approach. Max last night threw him a slider, but he got too much of the play with it. Franco got a base hit, but you know, hey, bury it from the very first pitch.
Yeah, just 0-2 him. Make every pitch like it's an 0-2 count. If he wants to swing, let him swing.
Able to hold on that 0-2 pitch.
Close.
We talked about the low fastball call. Morton got last half inning. Gio trying to get one down there, and it's 2-2. Mercedes-Benz will have a look at the at-bat. Yeah, it was low. So nothing near the heart of the plate in this at-bat. And Gio does it again. That's a big-time hammer at 78. Strikeout number 5.
Well, I mean, my point exactly. Gio Gonzalez executed perfectly. Look at pitch track. Not a strike, right? He just got a strikeout without throwing a strike. And when you have aggressive hitters and you're going to be an aggressive swinger, you better be a good bad ball hitter. Yeah. Don't throw Maikel Franco a strike.
Yeah. Well, he has struck out 10 times on the year. Pitching coach says let him get himself out. Perfect example right there. Ruff got under one, high fly ball to left first time. Worth playing deep out there, and Gio's doing a good job of keeping the ball away from Darren Ruff, who has hurt him numerous times. Jason only has to turn around and take 2 steps and he'd be on the track. Boy, don't you love the work rate we're seeing?
Mm-hmm.
Had him reaching, and that's a really good at bat by Darren Ruff. He'll gap it. Heisey will cut it off, holding him to a 2-out double. That's Darren Ruff's 9th career hit in 25 at bats against Gio Gonzalez.
A nice piece of hit and just a little extension right here. This pitch away off the plate. Good plate coverage by Ruff. And didn't really do a whole lot except for barrel the baseball. Got it in the gap. 2-out double. Now Gio trying to pitch around Carlos Ruiz, who homered on a 3-0 pitch first time up.
Yeah, right-hander Peter Borges on deck. Ruiz, 2nd home run of the year. The 67th of his big league career.
Got a homer in the batter's box and a strikeout on deck first time up. What do you do?
You're sounding like Greg Maddux. Got the strike on the inside edge. Nationals pretty straight away for Ruiz outfield. Worth deep. He goes off speed and misses. Second 3-ball count to Carlos Ruiz.
Well,
maybe pitching around indeed.
Maybe, but you have to think that Carlos Ruiz is a catcher. He hit a home run on a fastball last time. He was probably sitting on that curveball right there to 2-1 count. He knows what they're doing. He knows what he would be doing if he was squatting back there.
Healthy hack, topped it, counts full. Geico highlight last time.
Just an ambush, 3-0 green light for Carlos Ruiz. Not a bad pitch from Gio. He's just trying to throw strike one. He's actually a little bit on the outer third of the plate. Went out there and hooked it in the left field bleachers.
It's the part of the park here where you can get a home run by hitting the ball about 340. Well off the line, maybe 350.
I didn't think he was swinging either.
3-2 pitch with a runner at second. Ruiz getting his hacks. Off speed.
However this goes, whether he gets him out, walks him, goes after Borges on deck, you hit a home run your first time up as a hitter, you're feeling good about yourself. You're relaxed. If you struck out your first time as a hitter, you're a little bit tight. You're trying to get a hit to show for the day. Maybe you're not picking the guy up. So you have a guy in the box right now that's seen every pitch that Gio has to offer, and he's been on them all. You don't necessarily have to throw a strike here. Bounce something. If he chases, he chases. We'll see what he does.
He did. Buries it. Lobaton blocks it, throws out Ruiz. So the rough double changed the inning. The Ruiz strikeout ends the inning. Murphy, Worth, and Robinson ahead.
In Philadelphia, Daniel Murphy obviously has made a very big impact on the field for the Nationals early on this season, but he's also made an impact on his teammates just in terms of the type of ball player that he is and the way that he goes about it. I talked to a couple of his teammates about Daniel Murphy. Danny Espinosa told me he's very prepared. He has a really good understanding of who he is and what he does, and he always has a game plan when he steps into the batter's box. Ryan Zimmerman said he's a fantastic teammate. He's very inquisitive, focused, loves talking hitting, and it's clear that he loves baseball. And when I asked Bryce Harper about Murphy last night in my interview with Bryce on the field, he said, "I'm glad he's on our side now." Daniel Murphy is really beloved in this Nationals clubhouse after just a couple months with this organization.
He wanted to be here. The Nats wanted him badly, and it's worked out very well. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. That's at Coons, who bring us Dan's sideline report, Coons.com. Upstairs to Murphy, 1-1.
It's the baseball player in every sense. Plays the game the right way, plays hard. The grinder. maybe just coming into his own as a hitter.
All right, this time he was able to lay off that pitch. Last time that was a strike 2 to him. Yeah, Daniel just had a birthday on April 1st. He's 30.
It's about the time when what you can do and what you know as a player sync up.
Then Morton just fearlessly throws him another breaking ball. That one coming in from the outside.
As a young player, there's a lot of things you can do that you don't know yet because you don't have the experience. And when those two things kind of meet, that's when you're at your peak. That's when you're at your best as a player. Your knowledge from experience plus your ability.
2-2, and Murphy takes it right up the middle. 87 on the off speed. Murphy stayed back, and he has his 15th hit of the year.
I mean, just put this one on rewind. Nice piece of hitting by Daniel Murphy, and we could just say it all season long. Look at the no stride approach. Letting the ball get deep. He's got a good idea what Morton wants to do to him. Executed the game plan perfectly.
Murphy hitting .441 now. And a fastball to Jason Worth right in there. Jason 2 for 10 in the series, 3 RBIs on that big swing on Friday night that really opened up that ball game, and for that matter the entire weekend. 2 career home runs, 5 RBIs against Charlie Morton, who hasn't pitched off the stretch much. That hit Worth in the leg, so it's a foul.
Yeah, I think the game plan for the Nats right now is just put some good at-bats on Charlie Morton. You don't necessarily have to get to him, but run his pitch count up a little bit, fight, get into that Phillies bullpen, and if it's 1-0, you got a real good chance to win.
He didn't pitch off the stretch until Anthony Rendon batted in the 4th inning today. Because the only hit was the Harper 2-out single in the 1st. So maybe this will change a few things. Murphy 1 for 2 stealing. That is unreachable. Strikeout number 5 for Charlie Morton on a big sweeping curveball.
Jason Worth looks like he might have been thinking about that sinker in. Body was going toward the dugout and the pitch breaking the other way.
Runner on the move. The hit and run's on. Murphy looking in all the way as Robinson took his hat.
You see the jump by Murphy. He looked in. I'm trying to figure out whether that was a hit and run or not. Pretty big swing from Clint Robinson. But I like that the Nats are trying to manufacture here against Charlie Morton.
He's been throwing that backdoor breaking ball for strikes, and he gets another one. Hitter's given up on that pitch. All of a sudden it comes back. Now remember, first time up, he busted Robinson under his hands with the front door breaking pitch. Goes with the heater away and missed. There it is. Clint Robinson did not go around. That's a great take, and the count's back even. Backdoor breaking ball. He rolls it over to Hernandez, and a 4-6-3. Outs on the ground, double play balls each of the last 2 innings. Charlie Morton looks like Max Scherzer today.
One swing, the difference in this ball game. A 3-0 pitch to Carlos Ruiz. Gio Gonzalez has been good. 6 strikeouts, no walks. Good changeup today, keeping the fastball down. Curveball at times. Show you some strikeouts. The elevated fastball right there, and then went right down the middle to Borges, and a nice changeup to Hernandez. So Gio Gonzalez doing his part in this game, and he's hoping the boys behind him can figure out Charlie Morton sometime soon. Morton has been very good.
And those double plays are saving him pitches. Gio, 66 offerings, 41 strikes. Bottom 3, Borges, Goodell, and Morton here. Bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch, it's going foul. Peter Borges, as a Philly, 5 for 34. Hit 200 in St. Louis last year. That's got a chance, and it's beyond the range of Stephen Drew. Peter Borges, first base hit in this series, now 1 for 6.
That's a guy that can fly too, so you're gonna see a lot of pauses right here from Gio Gonzalez. Junior Nats Kids Club presents Kids Opening Day, Sunday, April 24th at Nats Park. It's Screech's birthday. Signature Sunday, kids run the bases and more as the Nats take on the Twins. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets. Mascots in their birthdays. It's a thing.
Tyler Goodell, the left fielder. Fly ball to center first time. Looked like he was trying to guide one through the right side.
So Screech is 12.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, 12th season, right?
Yeah. Screech, a model of fitness after a rather portly start to his existence.
He acts like a 6th grader a lot. Well, it's 12 in Eagle years. Is it 12?
Oh, it's like 500, I think.
I think so too. Borges has got to run sometime in this sequence.
Yeah, bottom of the order. Phillies trying to manufacture something. Runs haven't come easy for them. Not a real big lead, but a lean. And Gio throws it in there. Phillies tied with the Mets for the fewest runs in the league coming in.
Pitching for that ground ball, bottom of the zone.
Nissan with a good look at a low strike. 0-2 to Goodell. Phillies have a new first base coach over there, Mickey Morandini, former shortstop here. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Hitter not asking for time. That took a while. And then Gio strikes him out, number 7.
I'll tell you, this pause thing's working for Gio in a couple of ways. It's holding runners and it's messing up hitters' timing. That 91 that Tyler Goodell just saw looks like about 100. Look how late he is on the fastball at 91. Pretty soon they're going to have a rule that you can't hold for too long because it's messing up the pace of play. You're going to have a clock on the hold.
Oh, please.
1001. You can't hold for more than 7 seconds. And this is a fine from the league office for Gio Gonzalez.
And that's a hitter, a pitcher, stepping out and getting time. Charlie Morton, 36 career sacrifice bunts. Rendon shallow at third. Clint Robinson, a left-handed throwing first baseman, can charge in case there's a hard bunt his way. But as FP mentioned, Boards is a hard guy to get as the lead runner. He's going to deaden it foul. Three o'clock in Philadelphia. What a day. Dramatic view of the skyline to the north of us. Center City up there. We're in South Philly at Citizens Bank Park.
It's a good skyline.
Well, you got 2 ways to get up there, either the freeway or I think I counted 44 traffic lights on Broad Street between here.
Yeah, I feel like that was shorter but longer.
Caps will be here tomorrow, right?
Tonight.
I mean, they're already
Today.
Yeah, they're already here.
Checking in
Nice.
to their hotel.
1-1. Morton bounces it well. Gio's got to play it first. Looking for Murphy. 1-4. Well done by Charlie Morton, giving Freddie Galvis a chance to increase their lead. Gio has retired Galvis on 2 pulled ground balls today.
Galvis coming into this game hitting 285 from the right side, so a much better right-handed hitter than left-handed. At least so far this year. At 3.9 seconds on the pause last pitch.
Well hit left field, but Worth is coming, and Jason has it. Gio Gonzalez, 5 really good innings. Morton a little bit better. Bottom 3 ahead for the Nats.
Oh, dear.
Tommy La Swordfish. They had to come out and pump him up.
They had Derek Cheetah out there and Ken Giraffe Jr. It's just a weird dream here today.
Kyle Ripken.
Yep.
Top of the 6th inning, Stephen Drew. There's a guy who can tie the game with one swing in any ballpark. Counting his favor. And that breaking ball stays way outside. The odd shift again with Franco on the grass at third, everybody else on the right side. Lobaton and Gio to follow. And Morton, first 3-0 count of the day, I believe it is. Nats box, not a whole lot. Bryce, a base hit, thrown out at second, trying to stretch it in the first. Heisey, a leadoff single 4th inning, double play then. Murphy, leadoff single last inning. Then a 1-out double play.
Might be the best pitch he sees right here. Taken all the way on 3-0.
And the base on balls. First time today that Morton hasn't been able to master that outside edge.
Pretty good hack by Lobaton first time up. Fly ball to center, but he squared it up, just got underneath it.
Lobaton, little tapper right side. Past the pitcher who deflects. That'll be a 1-4-3 on a scoop by Cesar Hernandez. But the Nats get a productive out.
Come out to Nats Park Tuesday, April 26th, or you're in big trouble. The Nats take on the Phillies in game 1 of the 3 game set. First 20,000 fans in attendance, you receive a Teddy Plush window cling. Visit Astros.com to purchase your tickets today. Gio got a chance to help himself out right here. He's going to be there. He'll have his glove. Ready to rock.
Gio Gonzalez has 9 career runs batted in. Right fielder Peter Borges, pretty good arm, cheating in a little bit on the offside against the pitcher. And Gio looks at that front door breaking ball that drops to the corner.
I'm telling you, it's the Pete Buchanan rule. With runners on, his pitchers will never throw a first pitch fastball to another pitcher.
He got another one in there. Gio didn't like it. Strike 2.
This one kind of backed up a little bit. See if it is a strike on pitch track. Yeah, pretty good pitch.
Pretty good. Can't make contact, kind of a choppy swing, and that's understandable the way he's been throwing that curveball today. So it'll be up to Chris Heisey with 2 outs. He singled up the middle last time. Heisey now as a net, 3 for 9 with an RBI. Came on the pinch homer last night, opposite field. Maybe the best approach against Morton right now.
Just looking for a mistake up. And it's up to Stephen Drew on second base to get a real big secondary here. As you look at the Phillies outfield kind of cheating up. Odubel Herrera has the best arm.
He was ready to reach out, and all of a sudden in it came. 2-0. Charlie Morton, 160th career start, 8th against the Nats. Only 2-4 against Washington over the years with Atlanta and the Pirates. Way outside, 3-0. Anthony Rendon waiting.
Why not?
Thinking 3-0 hack, huh?
Yeah, why not? Just lay one right in there for you.
Joe West just called a balk.
Yep.
I'm not sure that Morton came off the rubber.
Well, he didn't turn all the way to second base. He just lifted up his leg and put it down. And I have no idea why he was going to do an inside move on a 3-0 count. And 2 outs and a runner on second. Watch him. He just puts it down. He doesn't go toward that. That leg has to go towards second base on an inside move. It just went right back down to the rubber. That just had to be a brain cramp. I don't even know why he's thinking about the runner here.
Now a variety of ways you can score. Heisey takes the walk, 2 in the inning, and it'll be up to Anthony Rendon.
On a guy who's been bouncing a lot of pitches today, that extra 90 feet for Stephen Drew might come in big. I mean, he's been low with the sinker. He's thrown his curveball in the dirt a lot. And it might take those pitches away with the tie and run on third. And Anthony Rendon might actually get something elevated here to drive. You don't want to bounce something to the screen and have a tie ball game.
Anthony's pulled it twice on the ground right to the shortstop. Still looking, and what a time for his first RBI of the year. And you know Morton's going to go after him because there is big trouble lurking. Key moment in this ball game in the top of the 6th.
There's Dusty coaching right there, talking to Daniel Murphy. Game planning.
Up and in, and it got the zone. A sliver of that corner on the way in. Tough pitch. Just split that inside corner. This inning, the first time the Nats have had a runner beyond first base. Rendon the other way to tie the game. Scoring is Drew. Heisey to third. Anthony Rendon, the best time for him to deliver that first RBI of the year. So Rendon, after pulling the ball twice, goes the other way. Perfect pitch on which to do it. And now the inning really gets interesting with Bryce Harper. Harper 1 for 2. Hard single to right center, back in the first. There's that heartbreaking ball. Catcher can't find it. Heisey stays at third, but Rendon advances on the wild pitch. So Charlie Morton losing some of that command in this inning. Outfield around to the right. A lot of room on the right side of second base for 2 RBIs. And that time Bryce able to ID that heartbreaking ball down and in.
It's a nice piece of hitting by Anthony Rendon right there, going the other way. And the way Borges threw that ball in, Bob Henley was thinking about sending Chris Heisey. Just flipped it, lobbed it into second base.
1-1. Harper takes a fastball that's on the inside edge, and he glanced back at Andy Fletcher. So the Nats have tied the game.
I mean, they're pitching to Bryce Harper right here because Daniel Murphy is on deck. I mean, you would think with 2 outs and runners on second and third that Bryce Harper is going to get walked in this situation more times than not. But because Murphy's swinging it so well, Morton going after Harper.
Here it is. Breaking ball up the middle. Well placed. Can Bryce beat it out? He can't. He's out by a whisker. The Nats so close to taking the lead.
Pretty close to first base. Let's see if Dusty Baker wants to take a look at it.
Phillies are kind of stopping their progress off the field as all eyes turn toward the third base dugout.
Bang, bang play at first base. Look at Bryce Harper lunging for the bag. Where's the ball? I can't see it. I mean, that is so close.
And by the way, I just saw some fist pumps in the dugout. Our guys think he's safe, but that says he's out.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Pretty good play by Freddie Galvis. It's so weird with the replay now that you're looking at the result of the play and not the play itself. Freddie Galvis went a long way to his left right there. On the run, made a strong throw to first base. When this was initially hit by Bryce Harper, I'm thinking put it in your pocket. That's a base hit all the way. But I don't think this challenge is going to go the way of the Nats. It looked from that last view that Bryce Harper was out.
Well, they've lost one challenge on Harper out at second base earlier. The crowd reacting to the replays they're seeing.
And Dusty Baker smiling. I think he knows he's up against it on this one.
No, the Phillies have the advantage of the call, which now has to be turned over in indisputable form. And the headsets are about to come off. He's out. Freddie Galvis knew he had to hurry. Great throw, great play. But the Nats tie it on the Rendon RBI. Double in the first inning, and within a very close situation of an RBI single right there. So the Phillies box score. They only have 4 hits. Bunt base hit by Hernandez in the first. The Ruiz 1 out, 3-0 pitch, solo homer second inning. Since then a rough double in the fourth. Ward just single in the fifth, and that's it. Gio back to work, and he's not behind anymore. Takes on Cesar Hernandez. Two and 0.
Tell you what, Pete Mackanin doesn't care if he gets criticized. He was going after Bryce Harper because Daniel Murphy was on deck, and it worked. But I think it's a lot easier to answer the media if you give up a hit to Daniel Murphy than Bryce Harper, even though Murphy, one of the best hitters in baseball right now.
Yeah. Two-one pitch. 2-3-4 for the Phillies here in the 6th inning. So Gio needs that shutdown inning after his teammates got it tied. Good news for the Nats is Philly bullpen working after Morton's thrown 80 pitches. And this one into right field. Bryce Harper battling that sun, using the glove for shade right until the second he caught it. Tonight on WUSA 9, great lineup, 60 minutes plus all new episodes of Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and Elementary. It all starts tonight at 7, followed by WUSA 9 News at 11. Here's Odubel Herrera, 0 for 2 with a foul out to third and a ground ball to second. Target away.
Got a lot of credit last inning. Jose Lobaton with the little tapper got Stephen Drew in scoring position, and then Chris Heisey with a walk, moving the line to Anthony Rendon, clutched up big time.
Three 3-0 now with Maikel Franco on deck. Patient hitter in the box, impatient hitter on deck. And Herrera draws his 12th walk of the year, tied for most in the league.
Yeah, pretty good pitch right here by Gio. Where'd it miss? Not on pitch track, but Jose Lobaton made it look good. And now see if Gio throws Franco a strike. Struck him out twice. Didn't throw him a strike last time.
That's his first walk of the day. Gio only walked 1 in 6 innings of his first start. Maikel Franco, a pair of strikeouts swinging. Time given. And the breaking ball diving down and in.
Boy, I went to get a cup of coffee between innings, and all the Phillies people really upset with the Gio pause.
Why?
Well, they're thinking it's too long and there should be some rule against it, but it's part of the strategy of the game. It's holding runners close. The Nats have been as good as anybody at throwing runners out this year, and it's worked for them. Look.
We have enough clocks as it is. And that ball turned by Murphy, 6-4-3. Inning over. Gio Gonzalez continues his brilliant pitching. Murphy, Worth, and Robinson coming up.
Promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. I wonder what we should, oh, let's do this. Anthony Rendon with a beautiful piece of hitting going the other way. That scored Stephen Drew, who led the inning off with a walk. Chris Izzy was coming around third base hard. They had to hold him, and then Freddie Galvis with a sweet play to get Bryce Harper. Bryce thought he was safe. They looked at the replay. The second replay challenge on Bryce Harper. Remember, he had a base hit his first time up, slide into second, came off the bag, he was out, and this one, he was out too.
So as we go to the top of the 7th, 4, 5, and 6 for the Nats. It'll be Murphy, it'll be Worth and Robinson on our Honda do-ups. On base percentage plus slugging. Murphy out of sight. Worth, someday he'll have 200 RBIs in this ballpark. And then Clint Robinson. Hector Neris, 26-year-old right-hander, takes over. He pitched a scoreless 8th inning with a couple of strikeouts last night. Struck out Murphy and got Worth on a fly ball to right.
Nasty split. I want to get that first heater if you get a chance, because he showed the Nats last night that split is deadly. Throws it 50% of the time at 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, 6 games, 5 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 0 ERA. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts so far. Murphy throws up the hands and moves back. Right up the middle, and Murphy has a 2 for 3 day.
Wow.
He's wearing out the middle of the field today. He pulled his triple last night and a double on Friday night.
Just a hitting machine. Love to watch this guy, and that's why Bryce Harper saw pitches to hit with runners on second and third, 2 outs, because of what you just saw right there. So, you know, Ryan Zimmerman protected Bryce Harper. Now Daniel Murphy today with Zim having the day off. That was pretty.
And the Nets finally got Charlie Morton out of the game. His lack of command in the 6th inning had something to do with that, with 2 hits and a balk. By the way, Murphy now hitting .457. Just a number.
He's ready. Call him up.
Yeah.
To a different league.
Murphy now 4 for 7 career against Neris. Worth pulls one left side, and a double and a triple clutch by Franco cost them the double play.
And did you see Daniel Murphy go straight into second base and try to hold himself and not pop up? He knew it wasn't going to be a double play, and with the new rule, as you see the play by Franco traveling right there, he took a little bit too long. And then the slide by Murphy, watch him just kind of stick the landing, stay right there, hold it. Nice piece of hitting, good slide.
Clint Robinson 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a .463 double play ball. He is 1 for 2 career against Hector Neris. Lead run aboard here in the 7th. Offered and then saw it diving, and that take gets him to 2-0.
Yeah, get yourself one right here and let it rip.
One game, top of the 7th. Nats looking for a sweep. Robinson takes ball 3.
Could be a green light situation. Let's see.
Robinson 2 RBIs on the year.
That's a good throw over by Pete McCannon. He's a big fan of the 3-0 steal. And I think it's the best count to steal on. Very rarely do you see teams throw over 3-0. So you usually can get an A+ lead, a great jump. But Pete Mackanin, who's a big fan of that, maybe thinking Jason Worth was going to do it.
That's up and in. A 4-pitch walk to Clint Robinson. And the Phillies pitchers are digging themselves into some holes here in the middle part of this game. Next up, left-handed hitting, Stephen Drew in a huge spot. Sean Kelly for the Nats. Gio's gone 6 on 87 pitches. Let's see if Washington makes the inability of the Phillies to turn the double play hurt big time here in the 7th inning. '86 right in there. Drew a ground ball out and a walk.
I'll tell you what, when you're 9-1, you're thinking of ways that you're going to win this game. That's just the way it's going. Dusty's over there thinking, who's going to be the hero today?
Pretty big rip. And it goes to 0-2. Drew career against Neris, facing him for the first time. Carlos Ruiz wanted that ball a little further away, and he was reaching across as Drew took another good hack.
You know, as a hitter, even if you tell yourself with 2 strikes be on the fastball, there's that little man in the back of your head that's saying this guy's got a really good split. And what it does is sometimes makes you just a tick late on the fastball. Even though you're committed to it, in the back of your head, you're thinking about that split and allow that fastball to get by you.
And he dumps one in the dirt off speed for the strikeout. It'll be up to Jose Lobaton with 2 outs.
And I wish there was a way to mic up that little man in your head when you're hitting. It would be fascinating to listen. That's Masson's word of the day. Power to 29292 for your chance to win a meet and greet with Max Scherzer. That's power to 29292. That's brought to you by Care First. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
There's right-hander David Hernandez for the Phils. And now a big spot for Jose Lobaton, who looks for his first RBI of the year. Gio on deck. Pitch count good.
I guarantee he's got somebody ready to hit, though. Gio's not hitting with the bases loaded.
No.
No way.
Yeah, Kelly's been up for a while now.
I mean, if Jose Lobaton finds a gap, oh yeah.
There's a guy who has a pinch hit home run in this ballpark. Ryan Zimmerman. Lobaton turned a 2-0 count into 1-1 right there. Good crowd at the bank today. Well played, well pitched game. Couple of dramatic challenges have gone the Phils' way. Clutch hit by Rendon to tie it last inning. Both bullpens working. Lobaton rips it right side. Picked off by Darren Ruff. Phillies have answered the call defensively when they've had to. Nats have been knocking on the door of taking that lead in the last 3 innings. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals.
1-1 ball game. 1-5-0 Nats. 1-4 actually, yeah, Nats and 1-4-0 Phillies. And so we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning and look ahead to tomorrow night just a bit, because it's Jose Fernandez and Tanner Roark. Fernandez 0-1 with a high ERA, but he's won 17 of his 18 career decisions at Marlins Park. Tanner has totally turned things around from his first start to his second. 6:30 Nats Extra. FP and I will join you from Marlins Park at 7 o'clock tomorrow night to open a 4-game series.
They lowered the fences at Marlins Park. They moved them in center field. That little right center field gap is a lot shorter this year. And
hi, it's Harry Canary.
You need one of those microphones, Bob, for on cameras.
I know, I could use it to swat you at times. That would be useful. That's Scott Fransky, our good friend on the left, voice of the Phillies, and the old right-hander Larry Anderson with him. Harry Canary. Darren Ruff, Carlos Ruiz, and Peter Borges for the Phillies, bottom of the 7th.
They need to drug test this whole game with all the mascots I've seen out. I mean, it has just been scary at times.
Darren Ruff 1 for 2 with a double. Ruff 9 for 25 career against Gio, including that opposite field double last time up, and he went up hacking. He's trying to put Philly on top with that swing.
He wants that one bat. He bet first pitch fastball and got it.
Pretty good action on that breaking ball. It just dove on Gio. 1-1, bottom of the 7th. That's a great heater to the inside edge.
Well, you can tell that he has confidence off Gio just by his swings. Seeing it big, not getting cheated.
Upstairs with the fastball. Gio Gonzalez, strikeout number 8. Mercedes-Benz blasting toward you.
No, you love the fact that he climbed the ladder right here, and that was probably the biggest threat, even though Carlos Ruiz is responsible for the only Phillies run today. Change the eye level, climb the ladder, nicely done. Gio Gonzalez doing it again here today against the Phillies. He's looked great. It's just like the calmer version, you know, that stuff that Dan said about the mental coach, the breathing, the smooth delivery, the picking up the target. It's a refined Gio Gonzalez. I love it. See, even in there, he didn't like the call, so he's backing off the mound. He's resetting. Now he's walking up the hill, trying not to let that last pitch affect him. He walked way past the rosin, about 5 steps onto the grass. Kind of a reset there.
2-0 pitch, and he misses. And he wasn't hacking on that
Fastball. That was toward the outer half. And that's a one-out base runner for the Phillies in the 7th.
Might be getting a little tired. You can see the arm slot dropping right there to Carlos Ruiz, even though he's trying to work him away. And maybe Dusty Baker and Mike Mack were talking about that.
Hadn't walked anybody until last inning. Took care of that with a double play ball. And now here's Peter Porges. Tough guy to double up. Base it up the middle last time.
I like Anthony Rendon. He's kind of taken over that Adam LaRoche thing. He's been talking to Gio a bunch today.
Well, you couldn't have anybody more cheerful come and visit you several times a game than Anthony. Gio right at his career average. He threw 95 in 6 innings against the Braves. And that ball popped up to the right side for Clint Robinson. Tyler Goodell, the number 8 man, is next.
Well, I like what Dusty Baker's doing. Regardless of how this works out, he's showing confidence in his left-hander. If you remember Gio last year, the first sign of trouble, Matt Williams went and got him. There were some outings that were very short for Gio Gonzalez because as soon as he saw Gio start to falter at all, he'd go out and get him. And that rattled Gio at times. Maybe that's it for him right now, and this is a stall, and he's going to go get him. But I like the fact that he gave him at least the start of the 7th inning. I'm trying to find Dusty down there and see if he's going out there. No, he's going to give him this hitter. I like it.
Andres Blanco, a switch hitter on deck for the pitcher's spot. And if Gio can get this to the 8th inning, the Nats can hit for him and then have the top of the order. Goodell, a fly ball to center and a swinging strikeout. One for 12 as a big leaguer. Rips one. Murphy right there. 7 innings for Gio. So we go to the 8th. His batting spot coming up in the top of the order. What a day for the lefty. Baseball on Masson, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. By WGL Energy. Visit WGLenergy.com for easy ways to green your energy and help the environment. And by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. The old boathouses along the Schuylkill River, beautifully situated. Downtown Philly, and Gio, what a day. 100 pitches, 60 strikes. in 7 solid innings.
And if it weren't for a 3-0 green light, he'd be winning 1-0. Gio Gonzalez money again here today against the Phils.
Now the Nats take on right-hander David Hernandez, 30 years of age, from a baseball mecca known as Sacramento.
Fastball 93, curveball 81. Occasional changeup from Hernandez.
First time the Nats see him in this series. Bit of a scuffle so far, 5.79 that ERA. Fastball, he gets the call on the corner. Michael A. Taylor 0 for 1 career against him. Can't catch up. Taylor gets the breaking ball. Had a pretty good hack.
Yeah, sitting up there for him.
Felipe Rivero has been outstanding. Phillies have their 9th spot up, and then the top of the order. Bottom of this 8th inning. Taylor rifles one to center, and it carries right to Odubel Herrera.
Come see the Nats Stars of tomorrow, just 30 minutes away from Nats Park. The P-Nats are back in town April 26th through May 1st. To purchase your tickets, call the number on your screen or go to PotomacNationals.com.
Izzy facing Hernandez. First time. Chris has had a good day with a base hit and a walk. So in this series, 2 for 4 on base 3 times. And you saw Elvis Araujo. Izzy with a check swing. But a ball game in Miami now. Marlins have battled back. Braves lead 5-4, 7th inning. Izzy pulls it. That is a fair ball. And the throw pulls rough off the bag. And now he looks at his manager immediately. So right now the Nats have a base runner. And Pete Mackanin has another challenge. So we'll see how this shakes out.
Well, you might as well use it if you're Pete Mackanin. He doesn't want the inning to get to Bryce Harper, so we'll look at it together. The 15th challenge of the day. Kind of slings that one sidearm. You see it start to run up the line. The farther you go to your right as a third baseman, the more you have to throw overhand. And Franco kind of dropped down on that. And did he tag? I don't know. I didn't see it. Did you?
A lot of air in between the glove and the spikes, and I think the Nats are going to get the call on this one.
See it one more time. Rough going up the line. I don't think his glove hits him at all. That's just incredible watching that replay. How did it miss him? I like the reacts of the managers and the players when they're watching the scoreboard. Look at them, everybody watching. Heisey knows he's safe. Ruff knows he didn't get him. I mean, how awkward would that be?
What are you going to talk about with the guy?
Did you get me? I don't know.
Good news is, at least here,
look at they're laughing about it.
No reaction from the crowd.
Laughing. I don't think I got you. I didn't feel it. Where you guys go next? We're going to Miami. What do you guys got? Oh, Mets coming to town.
Mets, by the way, shut out Cleveland on the road today, 6-0.
So how you been? How was your winter? Good. How about you?
It's cold.
I mean, those are the conversations that happen with players.
Oh my goodness, the Nats have lost another one. 5-3 on the tag by Ruff.
Am I missing something?
I mean, they got a rule the tag was made right there, but I don't see it. 3 challenges on bang plays. Every one of them has gone the Phillies' way, and I think the first 2 they got right. Not so sure that time. Wow, that's big, because now Rendon has to get on for Bryce Harper to bat. Rendon facing Hernandez for the first time. Front door breaking ball, strike 1. Very surprised. Rendon rips one, left field corner. Fair ball into the corner. And Anthony Rendon, who singled a run home last time up, has a double. So pick your poison, Phillies. You want Harper, or you're going to walk him and pitch to Murphy?
Could have been a run for the Nats.
They do have a left-hander working.
Chris Izzy runs well, and if that doubles around the corner, that could have been a run. I don't know if you would have been able to send him, but it definitely would have been second and third, or maybe 2-1.
So Hernandez is done 2/3 of an inning with a base hit, and this call to the bullpen. Brought to you by the UPS Store. Together, there's nothing we can't solve. Visit the UPSstore.com for locations. Will be facing Elvis Araujo, the left-hander, 24 years of age, from Venezuela. He appeared in the 9th inning on Friday night, had a base hit and then 3 outs.
Pretty good chance you're getting a fastball. He throws it 93% of the time. Pretty good one at 93 miles an hour, and the slider 83.
Hey, one more thing on that challenge, and then we'll let it go. The Nats got the initial call. How was that indisputable? Very interesting. Rice today 1 for 3. The lead run is at second base, 2 outs, top of the 8th.
Yeah, get hit right here. Nobody remembers it.
Goes with the breaking ball.
Maybe. Boy, it's a short arm 93. This guy's got a little funk to his delivery. Kind of throws it out of his ear. You usually don't see that from bigger guys. Usually it's smaller guys that have the short arm delivery.
Harper, big time rip straight back to the screen. And the count 1-2. Good crowd today, 37,378. They'll start making some noise on defense for the first time today.
Good crowd, good game.
Tall lefty, ball gets on you in a hurry. He is 6'7", listing him at 275. And Murphy next, another great day for him. Harper takes ball 3.
What do you throw right here? Fastball?
What's your best pitch?
Well, I think the
but
fastball.
First base is open. I got to get him to try to chase here.
Yeah, I agree, but you got to be on the fastball if you're Bryce.
Yeah, he was.
And he challenged him, and that's the Murphy effect on deck. He threw it right down the middle, 3-2 fastball. Here it is. I'm challenging you.
Off speed, way inside, and that's where Bryce puts it.
I mean, how nervous is the Phillies manager right now? You got tie game, top of the 8th, 2 outs, the reigning MVP in the batter's box, and he looks like he's seeing him pretty well. Just catches that slider out front, pulls it foul. I mean, this is why you get paid the big bucks to manage in the big leagues. This is nail-biting time for both managers.
3-2 pitch. Harper takes the walk. First time the Phillies have walked him in this series. Now they deal with the hottest hitter anywhere in Daniel Murphy.
Well, check out the pitch sequence. That was a pretty good pitch to hit, that third one, maybe top of the zone, but Bryce ID in the slider. Fouled that one off, pulled the slider a mile, and then gets ball 4 on another slider.
Bob McClure, the Phillies pitching coach. And by the way, speaking of coaches whose last names begin with MC, it was a great thing to run into our old friend John McLaren on the field this weekend. Best winning percentage of any manager in Nationals history, 2-1. And he got tossed in his first game.
The best snap in any manager.
I told him his percentage of being thrown out is better than Bobby Cox's as well. So John's in there. He's on the staff here. Pete McCannon bringing him over. He was out of uniform for a while and doing some player evaluations and things like that. But John McLaren is considered their catching coach, and wanted to give him a little shout out before the weekend gets away from us. Here's Murphy. Ball 1.
So confident up there, just how he's taking pitches, seeing the ball like a volleyball right now.
2 more hits today. Got jammed on a pitch that got in on him, but it's over the screen, fortunately.
And I'll tell you what, give Bryce Harper a lot of credit for moving the line to Daniel Murphy. We saw him kind of evolved into this type of hitter last year. But earlier in his career, he was going to win the game right there no matter what.
Yeah.
He was going to swing, force the issue. I'm going to be the hero, which you love that mentality. But now he's so relaxed and confident in his ability that the guys behind him could do it, that he just took his walk. Now the line moves to Murphy, and we'll see what happens.
1-1 ball game, top of the 8th inning. Murphy has driven in 8 runs. He hits this one a ton to deep center. Herrera is waiting for it, 385 feet away. So the Nats lose a controversial challenge at first base. They strand 2 runners. They've left 6. We go to the bottom of the 8th in a tie game.
As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Follow Nationals baseball live with MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, and StatCast. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet.
Nats will go with a double switch. Michael A. Taylor stays into play center. So the new pitcher batting first is Felipe Rivero, who works in this series for the first time. He pitched a solid inning and a third to help nail down that game against the Braves on Thursday.
A fastball upper 90s, slider change to go with it. ERA 1.80, 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and opponents hitting 176 against Felipe.
Emmanuel Burris batting from the right side, facing Felipe Rivero for the first time. This is Manny's first right-handed at bat. Washington, D.C. product started the game here on Friday night, went 0 for 4. And he got that triple off the glove of Michael A. Taylor in a pinch hitting appearance last night. Looking to bunt, and the ball foul tipped into Lobatone's mitt.
They're trying to push that to second base. Good idea, trying to get his wheels on board here in a tie game. Sometimes that push bunt to second for a right-hander against the upper 90s fastball, you can hit it a mile because you're running toward the pitch, right? And it's tough to direct it.
Rendon can back up just a little at third with 2 strikes. Don't want to back up too far because a chopper could be a hit. Tie game, bottom of the 8th. And Felipe Rivero delivers one up. Fouled straight back. Swing and a miss. The ball pops out of Lobatone's mitt, so he just tags Manny as he strolls by.
You have that song on your iPod? This walk-up song?
I was trying to pick out what the melody was, and they cut it off too soon.
Yeah, I was just getting there too.
Freddie Galvis 0 for 3. 0 for 1 career against Felipe Rivero. And Freddie 3 for 10 with a walk in the series. They bumped him up to the leadoff spot today. Their leadoff guys in the first 2 games, Burris and Hernandez, were 0 for 8.
Good changeup off of 97.
Nasty.
So first pitch 97, second pitch 89. I'd buy him another changeup right there. He was on that 97. Smelling the wood burning on his back from the foul ball straight back.
Their closer is Genmar Gomez. Nats haven't seen him in the series. He'll pitch the top of the 9th. Worth, Robinson, and Drew due up. And a 1-2 pitch with 1 out. Felipe gets a comebacker. He can run it over and toss it to Clint. 2 down.
It's a good pitch call by Jose Lobaton. He saw that Galvis was getting close to that fastball and the foul ball and called the change.
Next up, Cesar Hernandez, who is 2 for 2 career against Felipe Rivero, but I would venture to say Felipe is a different pitcher now than the one he faced last year.
I know you have that walk-up song. I heard you playing it the other day.
Walk-up songs and the announcers who like them on the Nets. It's Nats Extra pregame show.
Guys put a lot of thought into that.
Nice to have our pregame producer and postgame John Harvey with us on the trip here, helping us out in the tape room. Our new daddy, Mike Dressman, home enjoying his brand new family. We wish them the best. One with 2 outs.
Oh.
98.
I mean, he got a golden arm. How long before he's a major league closer? I mean, this plays for the last 3 outs. The last I checked at any level. 98 for Felipe Rivero. You're gonna make some money as a reliever.
Target in and up. Solidly hit to the other side. Murphy scoops it. Felipe Rivero continues his brilliant pitching out of the bullpen. Jason Worth would love to spoil the party in Philly today.
Today, we're going to replay the replays and show you some replays of the replay, and you decide if the replays were right or not. I thought they got the first two right. Bryce thought he was safe. Joe West thought he was out. The umps have had their headphones on more than Bob and I today. And I still don't get that one, but maybe his forearm hit him in the shin. But I couldn't see it there, and I thought it had to be indisputable.
Yeah, we thought. To the ninth, Worth, Robinson, and Drew. And the Nats will face for the first time in this series another former Pirate pitcher, and this time it's Genmar Gomez. He's their closer right now, and he's been pretty effective with the Phils. 28-year-old out of Caracas, Venezuela. This year a 1.80 ERA, 5 games, 5 innings, a run on 3 hits. Worth, the first batter, is 0 for 1 career against him. Robinson is 1 for 2. And Stephen Drew will face him for the first time.
Beware the ambush right here from Jason Worth. I'm feeling a first pitch hack.
0 for 3 today, 2 for 12 in the series, but 3 huge RBIs here Friday night that really opened up that ball game.
And his only home run this year was on a first pitch. Let's see.
83 away.
That's the slider. Got a change up to go with it. The fastball average is 91.
Shadows from the light standard just now encroaching on the batter's box. Worth, left field, hooking, hits the base of the wall, and Jason Worth on the second pitch rifles one to the corner.
Ooh.
And they're probably booing our fans who are standing up and making lots of noise.
Oh, it was a good matchup for Jason. He's just looking for that fastball from Gomez, and he got it in a 1-0 count. So a big miss on the first pitch slider to get that fastball. And any elevation, he had his second tater of the year. You see everybody on the bench jump up. They thought he got him. And the best thing that happened here is the ball hit the cushion on the wall and just kind of stuck and dropped straight down. That allowed Jason Worth to scramble into second base, gave him a couple steps. The patented clap from Jason Worth, and now it's up to Clint Robinson to get him over to third at least.
Robinson 0 for 2 at the base on balls.
Game on.
As mentioned, a career RBI, 1 for 2 against Gomez. Gomez hasn't appeared in 4 days since he got a 1-inning save against the Padres. Clint Robinson, great take, 1-1.
Right, he's trying to pull the baseball, and the battle with Genmar Gomez, he's trying to keep it away from Robinson. As you look at Jonathan Papelbon getting hot in the bullpen.
Yeah, wait till he comes in.
You think that double was loud?
Robinson not biting on the floater away. The change up, and it's 2-1.
Cesar Hernandez in second is cheating up. See him right here?
Thinking about a throw to third, maybe?
Thinking about a throw to third if he gets a hot shot from Clint Robinson. That's why he's playing halfway.
Robinson off speed, takes it in the dirt. Another left-handed batter on deck here. In a 1-1 ninth inning game, visiting team looking for the sweep. Robinson, right field corner, hooking, just foul. Genmar Gomez not fooling anybody in this inning.
Well, just a hair quick. I mean, he's up there trying to pull the baseball. He worked to a 3-1 count, got his pitch, and just caught it out front of hair. And you see the hook to the baseball. And that had some distance. Carlos Ruiz is going to talk to Gomez and say, hey, let's try him away right here. What do you feel comfortable with? 3-2 changeup, 3-2 fastball away. But you have to locate this pitch if you're Gomez. You can't just throw a strike right here. He's trying to keep Worth at second base.
3-2 with nobody out.
They'd make somebody else.
And Robinson can't get to the pitch away. Now it's up to Drew with one out.
And I went with a changeup. You see, just kind of fade here at the end. Robinson tried to get out there and hook it. Might have been out front a little bit.
Drew today 0 for 2 with a walk and a run.
This guy was pleasantly followed by surprise. He lost his edge too. He got it under 200.
That was a step towards second.
Now then he comes down the road.
Yeah, he's the late game guy right now for the left side of the plate. He and Matt Dendecker.
So Stephen Drew's taking some nice hacks here today. Swing looks on time. He's struck out last time up, but he fouled a couple straight back. Big walk in the 6th. Scored the only run.
Gomez keeping that ball down. Field just a little around to the right with the left fielder, center fielder. We're just pretty straight away and right. Worth at second, one out. Trying to keep Jason from getting too big of a lead. But they're not in any kind of shift, so nobody really that close to Worth. Oh, he's going to ring him up on a fastball that Drew thought was up and in. And the Nats are having a tough day with the men in blue. 2 outs.
Front hip sinker. Does it come back for a strike?
Pretty good pitch. Now it's up to Jose Lobaton. Looks like Sean Kelly is up again. And if the Nats don't take the lead, most likely Kelly in the 9th. Certainly Papelbon if they do. Oh, it's now Blake Trinan is up. Pardon me.
He's for real. He's not. He got bombed the last time. But
And a 1-0 pitch. Way inside.
I want the right matchup with Michael Taylor. They pitching around Jose Lobaton here. You think he gets something to hit? I think he will.
Yeah. Michael, not the most patient young hitter, and Gomez has good off-speed stuff and breaking stuff. (3-0).
I think he won't. Michael Taylor knows what's going on. If they're pitching around him to get to me, all right, let's see how this goes.
He has a career hit against Gomez if it gets there.
That was a complete pitch around.
Michael A. Taylor pinch hit last inning, hit a fly ball to center. Actually a line drive to center. And every time the Nats hit a home run this year, and there have been 12, $250 to the Children's National Health System. So it's all for a great cause from Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Taylor 1 for 4 career against Genmar Gomez.
I think the thing Michael Taylor did best last year was drive in runs. He was clutch in these situations.
He got jammed. The Nats had a runner at second, nobody out, and never got Jason Worth any farther. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. It's still 1-1. If there's one thing we've learned about Dusty Baker, he's not that concerned about relievers either going out for another inning or coming in at the very start of an inning. He's going to go with the matchups he wants, no matter what the situation.
Yeah, he wants Felipe Rivera versus Odubel Herrera to start this ninth off, and you can't blame him. That's the matchup. That's the way to do it. This will be a one-hitter deal, and then you'll see Blake Trinan against Maikel Franco.
Odubel Herrera, career 1 for 2 against Felipe, who threw 13 pitches, 10 strikes in that 1-2-3 eighth inning.
Shades, check.
Herrera 0 for 2 with a walk. He's 2 for 7 with 4 walks in the series.
Yeah, I don't remember Herrera being this patient last year. He saw 4 pitches per at-bat on average. This year he's seen almost 6. That leads all of baseball.
Odubel Herrera last year had 495 at-bats in 147 games, and he struck out nearly 130 times.
Had an on-base percentage as a rookie last year of .344. 2 balls, no strikes. And Rivero misses inside. Neither team has had 2 hits in an inning today. But they have had more than 1 walk in an inning. And that's in there, 3-1.
To swing or not to swing? You go full count here? Something to drive. You got to let it rip, I think.
Yeah, your number 3 hitter. Rivero jams him, and that ball didn't miss being a double by much.
He's ready.
Yeah, Franco and Ruff, right-handers, the next 2.
Boy, if you throw that slider right at him, you might lock him up here 3-2. Tough to get away from that 96 to 98, though.
Chopper to short. On the charge, Drew lets it go. Out at first.
Guess what we're going to have?
Herrera standing on the bag. Everybody looking into the Phillies dugout.
Look at all the Phillies looking back at the phone. All the Phillies on the top step are looking back at the phone to see what's going to happen here. Yeah. Probably look at Larry Boa on the phone. What do we got here, folks?
Hey, if I'm Pete McCannon, I'm going to challenge either way.
I think so. Why not? It's leadoff man on, bottom of the 9th, tie game, and here we go again.
Fourth challenge of the day. 3rd by the Phillies. And they're 3-0 with the ones the Nats lost.
Yeah, Pete McCannon's having a good day. Another look at it. Well, I think Clint Robinson's got to reach out there just a hair more, don't you? Like, go get that ball, and he's out easily.
Not having a great feeling about this.
Well, that's good because we're always wrong. Maybe we could work in New York.
We remind you again, the Nats got the call, and it has to be indisputable that he is safe. 2 calls today have been overturned of the 3.
Just goes against the we want to speed up the pace of play thing. It's
Yeah, I think
it's a 1-1 game. It's 3 hours old, and there's been 4 challenges, and they've all taken a considerable amount of time.
Nats get a call. He's out.
That way, partner.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, I like it.
At its best. Good play by Stephen Drew.
So everybody's out of challenges finally, right?
I don't know.
Here comes Dusty to make the double switch. Matt Dendecker is out of the dugout, and he'll go to left field, I believe. Jason Worth going over for a chat with Michael A. Taylor. Taylor's coming in since he was the last man to bat. So the pitcher is back in the 9-hole in the 9th inning, and Blake Trinan on a political afternoon coming into pitch. Today, and Johnny with Phil will have a lot to talk about after the game. It's our Nats Extra post-game show presented by WB Mason. When this one is over, good pitching, defense, challenges, and whatever Johnny and Phil have in store. Another double switch by the Nats as Matt Dendecker is into the game, replacing Michael A. Taylor. So he bats leadoff, and then the pitcher now is back in the number 9 spot. And thinking back to last year, FP, and there's Blake Trinan. We know how good he's been, his numbers. Matt Williams did not double switch a lot. You had a fan ask us what a double switch is, and basically what it is, it's 2 players flip-flopping, so to speak, so that, say the pitcher comes out, the player you bring in can bat 9th. And then usually the pitcher spot is where the guy who made the last out made the play. He's usually the one who comes out of the game.
It's furthest away, basically.
Yeah. That way you could have a Michael A. Taylor in there for 2 at-bats like he did today rather than just pinch hitting. So now Matt Dendecker is in that situation. The Nats playing Maikel Franco to pull, and Blake Trinan comes in. Franco is facing him for the first time, and he chops one to Anthony Rendon. Unleashes to Robinson. 1 pitch, 2 outs.
Franco might swing as much as Vladdy Guerrero. And he is swinging from the time he's in the hole.
We're going to see Ryan Howard. And you're going to hear quite a reaction.
Mike Maddox going to run out there and game plan this at bat with Blake Trinan. Could be a make him beat you the other way sort of speech. Let's go sinkers away, keep the ball down, let him hit the ball the other way.
Ryan Howard is 1 for 2 career with an RBI against Blake Trinan. Trying to get this game to the top of the 10th inning when the Nats would have the top of the order and Dendecker leading off. You know, talking about that double switch, the first manager I saw that used it a lot was Whitey Herzog back in the 80s. Then it just became a regular thing in the National League, and it's a brilliant piece of strategy, basically making 2 moves with 1 guy.
Yep, Dusty loves it.
Because up to that point, it was pretty much pinch hit for the guy, then you need another pinch hitter the next time around. And sometimes it's used for defense as well. Big time matchup here for the youngster Blake Trinan.
Sinkers away.
Shift is on. And as I mentioned last night, when Ryan Howard was in his heyday here in Philadelphia, if you pitched him away, he was strong enough to reach out and poke the ball into the left field seats.
He might still be, but at least you can live with that, and especially with the late movement on the Blake Trinan sinker. You know, that's your best bet.
And Trinan's big thing coming into this year has always been trying to get left-handers out. He's been better at that lately.
He's been better at it with the slider in, but I just don't think you fool with that at all right here to the presence in the box. Well, maybe they are. Let's see.
Better get it in there. And you better have some drop on it, which Trinan did. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, check that. They did. A good pitch by Blake. Wants it up.
Ooh. Big man can still extend.
Well, that was his best rip by far. I think Jose Lobaton won that just a hair higher. Tough for a guy that's pitched down the zone his whole life to elevate it, but
yeah. Ryan Howard 4 homers this year. 7 RBIs. This is out of play to the left side. 361 career home runs.
Still like that sinker away. Wants it in the dirt.
Howard hits it to right. Harper to the wall, makes the catch. Extra innings coming up. And that was 10 feet from disaster.
That was almost a foot-long Subway sandwich.
The Nats are going to extra innings. They've won 1 of them this year. Blake Trinan says, okay.
Going down 1-1 as we go to the top of the 10th inning. Ryan Howard gave us all a scare right there. Citizens Bank Park. It's a short porch and right. Blake Trinan went with the slider again to Ryan Howard. I think everybody in attendance thought that the game was over. Bryce Harper, nice running catch. Blake Trinan gets the out, and she can't believe it.
Call home. The barbecue's going to be a little late this afternoon. Now, the other thing this does, it makes the Phillies a little weaker defensively now that Ryan Howard stays in to play first base. So Matt den Dekker leads off. Rendon and Harper, couple of lefties, as Genmar Gomez is still out there for the Phils. So the Nats 1-0 this year and 10 of 12 in extra innings since the start of last year. They don't mind overtime. Pretty impressive.
Well, I feel like this one's going to come down to a challenge. It has to.
Well, it's going to have to be you or me, because I think the managers are done.
It has to.
Den Dekker 1 for 5 career against Genmar Gomez.
An umpire-initiated challenge. It would be fitting.
Yeah, there can be those.
Joe's always been a challenge.
Beat Atlanta 4-3 on opening day. And then the next day, Matt den Dekker won a game for them late with a drive off the right field wall. 3-0 here. Got to be taking. Rendon next, and it's 3-1.
Well, the only game the Nats have lost this year, they got home at 3:30 in the morning. There was a rain delay for an hour and a half. The planes flew over too soon. I like the fact that he was taken right there. Fill up the count. He's trying to get on.
Well, the pressure's on Gomez here.
Fastball in.
Had to throw 16 pitches last inning. Oh, that's going to strike him out. Under the hands of den Dekker, running back in, and that's the first out, 10th inning.
Yeah, front hip sinker. We've seen him do this. Did it to Clint Robinson a few times, and now he gets strike 3 on Matt den Dekker with it.
Third strikeout by Gomez, who now faces Anthony Rendon.
He struck out Stephen Drew on the same pitch too.
Rendon 1 for 3 career against him. Yeah, that big out was when he threw ball forward to Clint, and Robinson tried to get around it and ground it to the right side. And then from there, he took care of Drew, as you mentioned, pitched around Lobaton, got Taylor. Bryce Harper next. He's been on base 2 more times today, nearly 3. Rendon is checked in with a single and double. Last 2 at bats. That's right off the end of the bat and out of play.
Cold now, and the sun is not removed.
And Dekker rips one to center. Ripped it, pardon me, Rendon ripped it too well. And the catch by Herrera, 2 outs. Here comes Bryce. What do they do with 2 outs? Base is empty. First, the matchup number. Bryce 1 for 1 with a single against Genmar Gomez's career.
This is how bad Bryce wants to get to Miami at bat right here. If he's got plans, some dinner plans tonight in Miami, this could go far.
Ooh. Ruiz was set up outside. He got some plate with that. Low in the zone. By the way, the Braves did it again. They swept the Marlins 6-5. The final down there.
Well, you'd think this is the same way that Blake Trinan was going to work Ryan Howard, make him beat you the other way. If Gomez flirts with the inner half right here with the fastball, there's no way.
Bryce pops it up. Back to have a look, Ruiz, and over the screen by a couple of rows.
I'll tell you what, Bryce wants that one back. He was told by his body language. He got a slider that was just sitting there for him and just missed it. Look where he's set up, and look where the pitch is, right down the middle.
Oh.
And maybe the shadows had something to do with it, or he just got a little too excited, but he wants that one back, and now he's going to have to battle with 2 strikes.
Throw that again, it won't come back.
He's way up in the box. Look where he's standing right now. He's out of his normal hole, and he's almost out of the front of the box.
1-2, target away. Close. And if the MVP doesn't swing, it's not a strike. Bryce has walked 8 times this year, just once in this series. How long can the Philly pitching staff go against this offense? Way inside, and Bryce works it full.
I think he can try to backdoor the slider here, or maybe throw it off the plate in and break it at his back knee. Can't imagine he's going to challenge him with a fastball. Maybe the changeup. Changeup.
No, you're right. He's also the best defensive back maybe ever. One of the best backs.
Outfield, all 3 guys about as deep as you can be.
He could cover anybody.
Any deeper, they're wearing one of those fanatic giveaway visors.
If he gets a Texas leaguer, it's a double. 2-2, 3-2, and Harper, right center, heading for the scoreboard. Gone! The Phillies continue to pitch to Bryce Harper, and he continues to hurt Philadelphia. 2-1 on his 6th of the year. Five straight games in this ballpark. Now 6 games in a row in this ballpark with a home run, and unbelievable.
Unbelievable they threw that pitch. Officially the first goosebump moment of the year. And Bryce Harper definitely has dinner plans in South Florida tonight.
Well, let's see if Murphy does too. Maybe they'll go together.
Unbelievable. Bryce Harper, the movie, continues.
One off the league lead of Trevor Story in homers now. Started the day tied with Nolan Arenado for #1 in RBIs. Murphy is swinging a miss.
When are you going to pitch around him? The league keeps trying him, and he keeps beating everybody. If we were speculating last night, when does he get the Barry Bonds treatment? I don't know, but you know, tie ball game, top of the 10th, and you throw a 3-2 fastball right down the middle to Bryce Harper, he's going to make you pay it more times than not in that situation. He just did.
Fouled off several pitches.
That was awesome. And maybe that was the Murphy effect too. I don't know, but
Murphy with a good eye, no swing, 2-2. So Bryce Harper in this series, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. He is 7 for 11.
He's going to be good someday.
Those are pretty good numbers for a bank. 2-2 pitch. Murphy goes the other way to stay alive.
no player has ever homered in this ballpark 6 consecutive games. Yeah, or in the city of Philadelphia.
Let's look at it again. Is we want to fastball belt high. And to see you later. I mean, that was on a line. Would have taken one of those fans into the bullpen if they tried to catch it. Look at the emotion from Bryce Harper coming around first base. Big brother approves, and so do we.
2-2 to Murphy again. He rips one. Howard knocks it down. And Ryan Howard makes a great play to keep that ball out of the right field corner. Harper's homer, the difference. Wait till Papelbon comes in.
Bryce Harper, very rarely do you get 2 pitches in at bat to hit, but watch that slider right there. Bryce Harper got a slider that he wishes he had back, and then the 3-2 pitch, a fastball right down the middle. You'll see it here in a second. Gone. Home run number 6 for Harper. The Nats take a 2-1 lead. But a hitter like Bryce Harper, you rarely see 1 pitch with the game on the line. He got 2 to hit right there. A slider in the middle of the at bat, and a fastball at the end. You see how fired up he is, and so are we. Handshake from Davey Lopes. Jason Worth saying, I taught you everything you know.
110 miles an hour exit speed.
That's cool. See Jason Worth happy for him like that. That's so cool.
And then the script writer decided to bring Jonathan Papelbon in for the bottom of the 10th. And they're booing him like crazy. Carlos Ruiz, a former battery mate, 0 for 1 career against him. Ruiz, the only Philly run of the day, with a home run on a 3-0 Gio pitch back in the 2nd inning. Rendon guarding the line at 3rd. Papelbon with a beauty of a breaking ball. 0-2. Five for 5 on the year, 354 career saves. Big time Sunfield in right field out there where Bryce is. That ball's hit well to center, but Den Decker is there, short of the track. 1 out.
Can of corn.
Next up, Peter Borges, who's 1 for 3 against Papelbon. Borges 1 for 3 today. 94 on the heater. Somebody's amped.
What else does he
Yeah, pair of 94s. I don't know that I've seen that from Pap since he's been here.
Number 8 spot up next, Cedric Hunter, a left-handed batter. And he gives him the breaking ball. A little low. He had a right-handed batter bailing on that.
Didn't miss by much, did it?
I don't think so. You know what? Harper got a ball called down around there, so that kept his at bat alive. We'll take that trade. And a 1-2 with 1 out. Papelbon, ball hanging a little bit, and that one into the corner, and Jason Worth can't reach it. Borges can fly, but they're going to get him to stop at second because Worth recovered in a hurry. Right into the corner. Tying runs aboard.
Yeah, I think the recovery there from Jason Worth, he went in the slide, but he got on the baseball quick and got it in. And you're thinking, is he going to go for a triple down the left field corner? He had notions of it, but Worth got to it quick. That ball was in the air for a long time, but Jason was playing him in left center, so he had a long way to go. But I think the carom here comes right back to Worth. He throws it in, and now we got a little drama here in the bottom of the 10th.
Here's Cedric Hunter facing Papelbon for the first time. Pitcher spot next, and Andres Blanco is waiting. So a lefty here and another who's a switch hitter. Shift is on. Rendon alone, third base side. High in the air. Murphy pointing up to the sky. Dendecker racing in, waiting for it, 2 outs. Now Andres Blanco. He is 2 for 4 career against Papelbon with a home run and 2 RBIs. By the way, Danny Espinosa in for defense at short.
Mark Maddox going to take a quick trip out there. What do you want to do? What are we going with? What's the game plan here?
Blanco this year as a pinch hitter, 1 for 2 with a run batted in. Papelbon delivers a heater to the outside half.
95. Good frame.
The way Lobaton caught that ball, not sure he thought he could bring it back in, but he did. 0-1 with 2 outs. And then that's 90 in the dirt.
I'll bet you if you ask Jose, he surprises himself sometimes with the frame jobs he does and gets the calls. Like, oh, really? Okay.
2-1 Nats. 1 more out to get. And a breaking ball hit to left. Good runner. Here's the throw from Worth. It's on target and safe. The game is tied. Borges came in hard, and it's the first Nats blown save of the year by a closer in either the 9th or 10th innings.
Well, Jason Worth got this on a hop, and you're thinking this is going to be close. Borges can fly, and you see the shoulder of Jose Lobaton getting Borges right in the face. Maybe the mask, too.
Lobaton never able to get a clean handle on that ball.
Clean slide, and it was his mask, face to face.
Top of the order, Galvis, and Blanco went to second on that throw. And here's Freddie Galvis, who's 2 for 2 career against Papelbon, and he goes up hacking. So for the first time this year, the Nats failed to close out a game in save fashion.
You really cheat in if you're in the outfield right now.
Yeah, Bryce Harper, pretty much the deepest of the three.
Well, his arm allows him to play right there, but you see Worth in left and Dendecker in center. They gotta let it rip if it's a base hit. I was wondering if Papelbon was going to go after Blanco. Galvis is hitting .212 left-handed this year. Like we said earlier, much better hitter right-handed early in the season than he is left-handed.
Two ball game now. The Nats have to get it to the 11th. These guys are tough to get the ball by. That ball hit into left. Worth going back. It's over his head, and the game is over.
Jason Worth had to cheat up to throw out Blanco at the plate, and Galvis touched that one, hit it hard.
Yeah, some of those contact hitters for the Phillies doing big-time damage to Jonathan Papelbon and the Nats here in the bottom of the 10th inning, and the Phillies walk off and salvage a game of this 3-game series. And the Nats' 7-game winning streak, oh so close to becoming 8, is over. For FP and Dan Colco, Bob Carpenter, the final score, Philly 3, Nats 2. Join us Monday on Masson when the Nationals open up a 4-game series in Miami. We'll get you going with Nats Extra at 6:30. This has been a presentation of Masson. Johnny and Phil are in the studio. Stay tuned for Nats Extra postgame coming right up. Papelbon hung with the loss, and the Nats are now 9-2 from Philly. So long for just a while.